Okie dokie. Hey guys, welcome. I thought I'm gonna show you some older projects. I believe what you just saw was named Project Raven. I mean, that's for sure. But I believe it was, I created it in 2020. Well, actually, I have a Let's Play channel, and I uploaded it on the Let's Play channel too. And it was in October 2020, so that should be about right. And so I thought I also want to upload my older stuff here too on this channel and talk a little bit about that, because, well, this is, you know, the actually place for stuff like this. And also I have already uploaded some test scenes and so on, but this project I finished basically. I learned a lot while doing that, actually. So we have here the animation scene. This is where the whole thing was happening. And I mean, back then I couldn't do it better. I think I was pretty good. I was pretty good. Did I say I was pretty good? Well, I was pretty good, but I meant the project was pretty good. What I did not take to account, this is a phrase you actually say, what I didn't consider, this is what I try to say, is back then was that subdivision modifier and so on. I use subdivision modifier pretty often, which is a cool modifier tool to make, you know, stuff look like rounder and then smoother and so on, but it comes with the cost of the performance. So you can see here it's turned off in this scene. What it actually does when we turn it on, you can see that, oh, it's not really turned off even. I just I see, I just decreased the viewport value. Well, you know, because I still learn. But this is how, for example, the wings look in the final render. So this is like it looks here, and this is how it looks in the final render. And I thought this is the only way to make it like look at this, look like that. And yeah, so this is something, I mean, it's cool if you start learning and you try to produce good results, and you know, then whatever you think is the right thing, whatever brings you to the goal you want to reach, is the right way, in my opinion. Later on, you naturally figure out that some of those settings you are using slows suddenly your whole scene down, and you wonder why, and this is when the learning kicks in. So as soon as you know, just if you're new to Blender or something, and you see all those options, don't think about it, try to reach your personal goal, and after a while you figure out that you mess certain things up, and you try to do it better next time. So I would I think it's a great weird MECH. Also the MECH itself, it's different pieces, and the animation was pretty difficult to animate. I made a work cycle. That's why I covered it actually with water. That I remember very well. Yeah, the MECH, I would design the MECH probably kind of the same, only I would not use the subdivision modifier that drastically, at least. So I would maybe use the bevel modifier and so on. Yeah, or, you know, I should maybe create another MECH to see how I could do it differently, because also sometimes you think you have a better way to do that, and then you start doing it and you realize, oh yeah, it's cool, however there are some different problems coming. But that's again a learning curve. Then this ship is also pretty quickly constructed, also with a subdivision modifier. You can and even I think they kind of stretch when they come. You can see this here. I've tried to make like a Star Trek, you know, when they ships are coming into the scene in Star Trek, they kind of stretch because of the warp thing, whatever. I'm not such a I like it. I watched recently a lot of Star Trek of Captain Picard, but I wouldn't consider myself a fanboy because I don't know enough details. Anyway, but this stretching happens when they activate the warp drive or whatever this is called. And so I try to simulate that. This again, subdivision modifier, I used it very, very often because you can construct weird alien ships, I think, like this very quickly, but again, it comes with the cost later on when you render the scene. Yeah, it just takes forever, and also the scene while working with it slows down. Again, it's an older project. I liked it a lot. We can take a look at the background. The background is also from a different project, which I also finished, and I tried to make to mix 3D with 2D as good as I could. So I would probably do it kind of the same, only that those buildings you can see here, this might be better, they are, okay, this is one object, but they are not made well because I couldn't. I just kind of constructed them by putting one cube into the other and try to create a building like that, which is totally fine. You can do that. Again, if you don't know how to make it better, then it's the totally right way to go. In the end, it has to look nice, and you have to be happy with that. And so whatever you try to do, let's take a look. And they look actually pretty, you see there's even here as a cube. That's the lazy way, I would say, to do that. Yeah, so this is the background scene. The cyber city exists. There's another video. I'm also going to upload this on this channel. This is something I wanted to do anyways. I kind of forgot about that. But I think, you know, also because old projects, although they are cool, you kind of forget them. And you want to focus on new ones. But sometimes looking back at those stuff is just, I just realized it's pretty damn good for a start. So I mean, from a learning perspective, it's not really that great. But also this guy here looks, a friend of mine said, this is cool, but it looks a little bit like a Batman kind of thing. The reason why he looks like that is I made this fun friend. His name is Raven. His nickname is Raven, not his real name is not Raven. I don't know any person with the name Raven, would be extremely suspicious too. Anyway, his nickname is always Raven. So, and he asked me if I could do something with Raven-like, not particularly Blender, just something, you know, Photoshop, and I did. And it developed into a MECH. It wasn't planned like that. That's the reason I tried to make it Raven look like, you know, although the Raven doesn't have ears like that. So this probably makes it Batman, Raven, weird looking like. Yeah, I have also some screenshots from different things. I think this is how I do it now. I think that's a good idea, to show the old stuff and talk a little bit about that so that no one can watch that. That's a good idea. Let's make that. Okay, pausing here quickly. Okay, so I opened just a photo, you know, the Windows photo thing. Yeah, so my first attempt to create the Raven, I thought I'm gonna just paint a Raven in GIMP Photoshop. And I started kind of like that. It always starts looking extremely weird. You just try to, when you use Photoshop, a good way, to me at least, is to start with a dark shape first, and from that you go further. I also, in this case, because I did not know, I draw a lot from imagination, but the Raven I couldn't, because I couldn't imagine it well enough to you know how a bird looks. You know, everybody has a good understanding how a bird looks, but if you're not an artist, and if you are not practiced enough, I think then you are not well prepared to just start drawing a Raven or a shape in the real world if you do not look at this. So what I did was basically just I googled a Raven bird, and then I saw one. I cannot show you this because of the copyright issues, especially pictures are very careful showing pictures you don't own. publicly. That's not gonna happen here. Anyway, but just, you know, just a raven bird. I had a reference picture to that, and then I start. Can I not do that here? Oh, that's so sad. I thought I can just switch the picture. Okay, hold on guys, I have to prepare better. Okay, so in the background there's also a different scene. I think I'm gonna make another video on this. Can I? No. Okay, from this to that, so it became a little bit like, yeah, weird. And then this was already, I was thinking, oh man, it's becoming something. And then I ended up having this guy, which I thought, because I also learned Photoshop, looks kind of cool, but it doesn't look like a raven, more like a colibri or something. Anyway, continued it, and this looked really cool. I thought this is a really good guy. This logo is from my Let's Play channel, from my older, it's an older logo. Yeah, so I kind of created this guy. He looks already like Witcher, you know, like a cursed creature or something. Yeah, and then I thought I'm gonna put this into Blender. This was I think this is the way how stuff happened. I put this guy into a Blender, and then I experimented with the bump modifier and so on, you know, I just wanted to create a cool looking scene, and it was good, but somehow it was weird and it doesn't really fit, so I tried to, you know, I forgot about that actually. I obviously gave him, tried to either gave him a mask, or to create a raven in Blender. So then I put him into different, you know, environments, and here I had already worked a little bit more on the scene, and I gave him an armor, a different background again, and then it looked like this. Yeah, and from this point on, I believe it was, maybe it's good to talk about this after a year, because I also look at this a little bit from distance, and I realized that you have some, you know, I realized that I have some questions about my own, what I was thinking. So that is maybe a better view point. Anyway, so whatever I did, this is already, or whatever I try to communicate right now, this is more MECH-like, and I was thinking, oh man, back then I was thinking this is looking so great, like almost extremely well, because this is always what I think when I learn something new. First, I believe it's the best thing I ever seen, I ever did, which is true for me, because it's the best thing I ever did. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's the best thing I ever produced from my perspective. Yeah, so I was happy with that, and I gave those birds here, you can see some glowing eyes, also those, yeah, like in Blender. Anyway, and then again, different background, try to make him look cool, because the colibri, like, I was thinking, this is not bad, but a colibri like this, yeah, I wanted to have a cool raven, not just a raven. And this kind of reminded me, I also recently watched that, this looks like almost like a Nazi thing. So I was thinking, oh boy, what the heck is that? Because I watched, that is a weird coincidence that I come up with that now. Iron Sky again, just a ridiculous, funny movie, you know, don't take this seriously at all. Anyway, but you know, it looks cool, I like it. I just thought, man, I'm from Germany and I produce something like that, that's a little bit weird. But it looks cool, I like it. I also like the colors here, the red and so on. Yeah, this one. And then I think this is from, this is rendered in cycle render, and I like this one of the render the best. This is the best render looking picture to me. But I struggled with the notes, with the wave noise and so on. I give this kind of bump effect is created with the wave texture node. Yeah, that's what it is. And somehow I messed it up. I realized this later that those little details you see here, the strokes here and this and that, they actually moved while the MECH was moving, so that was kind of weird and glitchy looking. It's still good for something, and you can see here there's something missing. I think I fixed this later. Yeah, and this ship is also from my very first Let's Play intro. Do I lie right now? I mean, there's a different animation, also finished, pretty long and so on. But I can tell you this thing again, I constructed it like I would construct the Lego car, and used a lot of modifiers. So it looks kind of cool, I like it, but performance-wise, it's horrible. So I should do this differently next time. Yeah. Do we have more? Let's see. Yeah, I uploaded this also. You can check those stuff out on Twitter if you're interested in. Back then I used the Twitter accounts and I posted almost everything. Like I released a Let's Play and no one cared. Obviously, I mean, you know, if you just release like every, you know, it's just automatic. If you upload a video and you know, just throughout a Let's Play, you can connect this with Twitter, and then you have like, here's my newest Let's Play, look at that. No one really cares, because I mean, why should you? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't click on that, no, for sure. I don't even read that. Twitter to me is like, I do not care about other stuff like at all. I follow some people who started to follow me at first back, but you know, because I didn't know better. But there are a lot of people who try to kind of follow you just that you follow back, and all those social media nonsense. I don't deal with that. What I do basically with social media, if somebody writes me an honest comment or message or whatever, I'm gonna respond. But everything else, I'm not reacting to that because it's just crap. But that doesn't matter. What I try to say is I cleaned up my Twitter account and only release like working either background pictures or working you know, work in progress pictures. But it's always gonna be something with value, I would say, not just the automatic you know, created Twitter message that, you know, again. Yeah, so that could be interesting if you're interested in art or nonsense. You know, I struggle. On the one hand, I would, hey, this looks actually pretty good. Yeah, I remember this thing. I made a box. I wanted to make I have all those Blender save files. I created here a box and put this guy here, and so you can buy the Loot Raven, because we named him always Loot Raven. He always get the loot in games, and that's why we shouted at him Loot Raven. Makes me laugh, actually. So, and then we have like, you know, Photoshop use. I use Photoshop, and then yeah, you can see for yourself. Here we have it even bigger. See, I really forgot about all the stuff. Yeah, this is, now that I see it, I like this even better. Yeah. I also fixed those weird glitches, so everything looks a little bit more better. He's levitating, hovering for some reason. Yeah, and black. I mean, black I like, if you have a cool car or a badass mech, I just like black. This is just the most threatening and badass color, which is technically not really a color. People say that it's not really a color. Well, it is, I would say. I mean, what the heck? Like, anyway. Yeah, another Photoshop. No, this is just a render. It looks better from behind, actually. And yes, here we go again. And yeah, Photoshop version. Yeah, that's the last one. I think I have even more pictures. Let me just quickly check that. Yeah. So this is an Instagram version. I used Instagram for a while. I stopped using it because, you know, I get frustrated because nothing really worked, like Twitter or the Let's Play channel. Everything is small. That's okay. But the problem is that Instagram and Twitter, I had to create an extra version just for Instagram because they use a different format for obvious reasons. And you have to consider that if you upload animation, that means you have to make an extra Blender version to squeeze the camera size, and then but then you have to make sure that everything is good visible. So you have to change even some keyframes, and then to change a little bit of the scene comes with the extra cost of time. So you spend a lot more time. I was thinking, you know what, no, let's just upload it on Twitter, because there is the advantage that I don't have to change the format. I do this for, you know, YouTube, and I can use the same format for Twitter. So and that was a good decision, because yeah, that was a little bit over the top. Okay, I think we are done. There are more stuff like this coming. I gonna show you soon the other longer animation scene for my Let's Play channel. It's also my intro on my Let's Play channel, and there, well, it's very it's weird but funny. I love it a lot. So I'm gonna upload this here, and I will talk about this in the same kind of way and see what I do remember of it. Yeah, so good. Also, I want to try to change a little bit the, not changing, well, I was thinking maybe making this channel. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is, you know, doesn't really matter. Guys, thanks for watching. Maybe this was interesting. Yeah, whatever. Bye-bye. You see us.